Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I would like to share with you sources of information regarding the goddess Astarte. Now, I'm not speaking about the Sumerian goddess Inanna, I'm not speaking about the Akkadian Assyrian Ishtar, I'm not speaking about the Greek Aphrodite. I want to focus on the information regarding the Phoenician, Canaanite, Syrian goddess Astarte. All of that information I have found out from books. If you're interested to study more, you can find those sources and have your own conclusions and research for yourself. Now, through the information that we receiving regarding the goddess Astarte, we can understand her character. And this is the goal of this video. I just want to bring forward to you that through the information that we have about the goddess Astarte, we can build her character and we can understand her functions. So the first information that we have about the goddess is from the texts from Ugarit. Ugarit is a city in northern Syria, and those texts were found in 1928. Now, the most important story of those texts is the Baal cycle. Now, regarding the Baal cycle, I will do a separate video on that. We will dive more into the Canaanite pantheon, but for now, let's focus on the information that we have regarding the goddess. So, the goddess is shown in the Baal cycle, and she is shown in the story of Kirta. She's described as a wet nurse of the gods, and she's paired with the goddess Anat. Now, before I will continue, I will give to you some introduction. The goddess Astarte, she is the daughter of the god El and the goddess Asherah. The god El is the creator of the gods, and the goddess Asherah, she is the mother goddess. Anat is her sister, and Anat is a warrior goddess. She is the one who helps Baal to defeat his enemies. Also in the Kirta story, Astarte described as beautiful with the goddess Anat. Again, they're paired together. And in another story, when Baal strikes the messengers of Yam, his right hand Anat seizes and his left hand Astarte seizes. Now her name is written in the form of Atart or Astarte. And here we can see that she is restraining Baal from doing something when he's angry. So she's holding his hand with her sister Anat. Again, they're paired together. And in another story, Astarte rebukes Baal that he dismembers Yam, and she says to him that Yam is a captive and it's not fair what was done to him, because you're not supposed to hurt captives. From here, we can understand that she has quality of fairness and justice. So, in another story that called El Divine Feast, we can find Astarte and Anat that they're grilling steaks for El. And it said, Astarte grills a steak for him, Anat roasts a rack of ribs. Again, they're paired together, they're sisters, and they're always doing things together. Also, it is said that Astarte and Anat march off to hunt or gather herbs for healing and cure El's hangover. Now, in this story, El is drinking a lot of wine and he have hangover, and Astarte and Anat, they are going off for a hunt and they gather herbs to heal his pain. So they have healing and medicinal properties. So here Astarte have healing properties. She gathers herbs and medicine and she heals some problem that El is having. Also, Astarte is described as a mighty panther and the protectress of El's house. From here we can understand that Astarte have qualities of protection, and she is the goddess of protection. There were some votive figurines of a panther that is holding a small shrine in a way of protection. So Astarte is protecting a space, she protecting a home. We also can find information about the goddess Astarte from texts from Emar. Emar is also a Syrian city. I want to pay your attention to a very interesting text that is called Goddess of the Hunt. And in this text, Astarte is the main character of the story, which I found to be very interesting. So the story is talking about that Astarte is going for a hunt, and Baal and the god Baal seen her and he desires her. And basically this text is describing that she is the goddess of the hunt. And what does hunting represent? Hunting is a procedure of finding food. So she is the goddess of abundance, of prosperity, of securing work, job, food. She is the goddess of stability. And I find it to be very interesting that through those stories, through those texts, and through that information that we have about her, we can understand who she is and what are her functions. Hunting is also representing reaching a goal. In our modern times, we can interpret it as securing a job, having a career and reaching our goals. And this is what hunting represents. We have some goal and we are going to accomplish that goal. So Astarte is also described as the name of Baal and the face of Baal. We also can find information about her from the writings of the Phoenician author Sanchuniathon. And in his Phoenician Genesis story, he's mentioning Astarte as the face of Baal. When she is described as the face of Baal, it means that she have a lot of authority, because Baal is the king of the gods. Also in the Phoenician mythology, Astarte travels the world and she consecrates a falling star in Tyre. So she have the qualities also of traveling the world. She's a very fast goddess, as we will see later on. And consecrating a falling star can give her some celestial qualities. So another major source of information that we're receiving regarding the goddess Astarte is Astarte in ancient Egypt. Now the Canaanites came into Egypt in the 18th dynasty of Egypt, and they brought with them horses and chariots. They brought with them the craft of horses, of horse riding and chariots. So this is why Astarte and Anat were very important in ancient Egyptian pantheon. There was a lot of influence from the Canaanites, and the ancient Egyptians were accepting the craft of horses and horse riding. So we can find story about Astarte in the text that called Astarte Papyrus. This is a text about Astarte and the god of the sea, Yam. I already spoke about this text in my previous video, although I gave more of my own speculation. But you can read this text and can have your own understanding. Unfortunately, the text is not complete, so we do not know how it ends. Basically, the story is talking about how the gods had to pay tribute to the god of the sea, because the god of the sea is very greedy, and he wanted that Astarte will be the payment. So the gods are asking from Astarte to go to the god of the sea, and she's crying, she's weeping, she does not want to do that, but she's going to the shore, she's meeting the god of the sea, and he basically seen her and kind of mocking her. He tells her that she's a furious goddess and that her sandals are ripped off and her clothes are ripped off because she's traveling from heaven to earth. And this is another quality of Astarte, as I spoke about this earlier. She has this quality of swiftness and she's traveling from heaven to earth. It seems like she has the qualities of a messenger also. Also, Astarte in ancient Egypt is described as being the daughter of Ptah. And Baal is described as being the god Set, although Set is the god of the foreigners. And also, of course, Anat is paired with Astarte. So we also can find a lot of illustrations and a stele of gratitude to Astarte for healing, and she's described as the mistress of magic. This is from ancient Egypt. She also synchronized with the goddess Hathor and Sekhmet because they have the feline qualities and the qualities of beauty. So, another interesting information that we can find regarding the goddess Astarte is from the Bible. In the book of Jeremiah, it is said, since the Israelites stopped giving offerings and burning incense to the Queen of Heaven, they suffered from hunger, they lost everything, and they were defeated by sword. This is very interesting because, as I said earlier, she's the goddess of the hunt. Hunting represents getting food, getting abundance, getting security. And here, when the Israelites stopped giving her offerings and honor her, they suffered a defeat. Also, it is said that the ancient Israelites had a family worship to Astarte. So the children gather wood, the fathers make the fire, and the women make the dough and pastries for the Queen of Heaven. So the ancient Israelites, as the Canaanites, they all worshipped goddess Astarte. And of course, we can see in the Bible that there is this war between the god Yahweh and the Canaanite gods because Yahweh basically wanted to be the only God that the ancient Israelites will worship. So everything that has to do with Astarte, Baal, Asherah is forbidden, is evil, and it's a major sin. So, in conclusion, when we're looking at all of that information, we can start seeing that she have some interesting qualities about her. She's the goddess of the hunt. So she's the goddess of abundance, of reaching a goal, of success, of healing, of magic. She's the goddess of justice and fairness. She is also a very active goddess. She is fierce. She has qualities of swiftness. She's coming from heaven to earth. She has a quality of a messenger. And she also a goddess of protection. She is protecting the home. She described as a panther. And of course, the feline family, the feline animals are associated with her. Lions, panthers, and also doves. Also, in the story of the Astarte and god of the sea, she's doing something that she do not like for the benefit of others and for the benefit of order. So she's going to the god of the sea even when she do not want to do that. She is crying, she weeps, but she's doing this for the benefit of order and for the benefit of others. She's also synchronized with Asherah, and Asherah is her mother. In some Baal cycle, in some translation of the Baal cycle that I have read, Asherah sometimes synchronized with Astarte. It's like they're receiving the same quality, but they're not the same completely. The goddess Astarte also described as beautiful and shining. So the aspect of beauty, of allureness, of shining is also associated with her. Also, there are curses for protection and breaking enemies. that mentioning the goddess Astarte. She is the goddess of protection, and she's mentioned in those texts as breaking enemies. So, from all of that information, we can understand that she's a very beneficial goddess. She's a goddess that gives benefits to human beings and to gods. When she's described with her sister Anat as a wet nurse, it means that she is a goddess of nourishment as well. She brings nourishment to people, she brings nourishment to life. So, from all of that information, I don't really see her as a goddess of war in a sense of Ishtar or Inanna. I don't see her in a sense of the political war and the bloodshed, like her sister Anat is described. I see her more as a protectress, as goddess of abundance, as goddess of healing, of magic. It seems like she's more softer even. So I don't want to mix the information about the goddess Astarte, about the Canaanite, Syrian, Phoenician goddess, with the goddess Inanna and Ishtar. Because if we will read the information about goddess Inanna and goddess Ishtar, it's a bit different. Of course, they do have similar qualities, but it's like goddess Inanna and Ishtar already merged with the goddess Anat. They have a lot of warlike qualities. And Astarte does have warlike qualities, but more softer. She's more goddess of victory, of success, of reaching a goal, of hunting, than the war itself. Like her sister Anat, for example. So anyways, thank you for watching. Follow me on Instagram on Esoteric Rain. I changed the name of my Instagram account to Esoteric Rain. It's not Magical Key 666 anymore. And you can support my work on Patreon if you want me to continue to bring to you information and interesting videos. And if you're interested in learning Tarot de Marseille, you can download my book on Amazon. If you want to know all the interpretations to Tarot de Marseille.